Hey everybody, it's Maggie from Personal Euphoria with today's plank story. So if you don't want to plank, today instead, alternate between two or try either one of these, but you're going to do a shoulder shrug and then let your shoulders flop. Shoulder and then flop. If it bothers your shoulders, instead of flopping, just be in control of the shoulders. And then kind of do a head roll where you go up to one side, chin towards the chest, and then up to the other side. Again, only if that feels good, and you can kind of swap back and forth. So, for the story, my mom has always given really good advice. And when I was a little kid, I'm going to guess second or third grade, I don't really remember. It was the age when boys had cooties. On the playground, one kid I went to school with me kept teasing me and saying I was going to marry this other kid we went to school with. We'll call him Bob. That wasn't his name. But he kept saying I was going to marry Bob. And I did not want to marry Bob. Bob totally had cooties. And it would bother me so much. And I told my mom, and she said, you know, Maggie, you can't let people see it gets to you. If they see it gets to you, they're going to keep saying it. So next time he says you're going to marry Bob, just be like, you're right. I love Bob. Of course I'm going to marry him. And he'll leave you alone. And I remember thinking, oh my God, if my mom is wrong about this, my life is over. I'm going to admit I'm going to marry Bob. This could be terrible. And I kept thinking about it and thinking my mom better be right. My mom better be right. And then it happened. We were on the playground. I was on the swings and this kid came over and said, you're going to marry Bob. And I jumped off the swing with confidence and was like, you're right. I love Bob. I can't wait to marry him. And I remember when I saw the kid's face, I was like, my mom was right. I won. And he never teased me about Bob again. My mom taught 8th grade English, and she had this student named Chris. Was his real name. And he was older than me. So I was probably about the same age. Because in fairness, while I thought certain boys had cute cooties, in 2nd and 3rd grade, I was also boy crazy. There were lots of boys I had crushes on. So one of her 8th grade students, I had this huge crush on, mostly because he looks like the Karate Kid. And apparently he was struggling in school, and he was potentially going to have to stay back and do 8th grade again. And I said to my mom, I hope Chris has to stay back, because if he stays back, I get to still see him. And if he moves on, I'll never see him again. And my mom said to me, you know, Maggie, it wouldn't be good for Chris to have to stay back. That's not what's in his best interest. And when you love someone, you want what's best for them. So you really shouldn't be rooting for Chris to have to stay back. And that's when I learned I did not love Chris. Because I would have happily had him stay back for my sole purpose of just swooning over him. But I don't think he did. I think he was able to pull it together and move on. And I probably just rewatched The Karate Kid and got over it. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And as always, keep moving.